Hi, good afternoon to everyone. So this webinar is going to be an exclusively planned for the students and working professionals like yourselves, and to gain an insight and valuable information that you need to choose the business administrations and to become a proud and successful business administrations. So the today's topic is going to be a guide for effective remote working. And today's speaker is going to be Mr. Chimbawa Kanyama, and he's a corporate leader, public speaker, and communicational specialist. And to have an introduction about him, so he's a corporate leader, public speaker, communicational specialist, and a strategist. He is a fellow of Institute of Director and established corporate governance trainer of trainers, and also a John Maxwell accredited coach. And he's a trainer, a certified trainer. He holds an MSc University of Reading, UK, and BA Mass Communication and Economics from University of Zambia. He also an author of 3 books on business, investment, and personality developments. So today he's going to address us regarding a guidance for effective remote working. So he's going to take care of the webinar to Mr. Kanyama. And you can proceed, Mr. Kanyama.
Welcoming everybody again. My name is Chibamba. My name is Chibamba, as been said earlier, though the sound was breaking. I spent the most part of my career working for different institutions. I worked for Zambian Breweries, Sub Miller, as Director for Corporate Affairs. I also worked for Zambia State Insurance Corporation as Director for Marketing and Corporate Affairs. I spent much part of my life also as a broadcaster for the National Broadcasting. From university, I worked for them for 7 years before I went into the corporate world. My last posting was with International Monetary Fund in Washington, DC. I came back 3 years ago from there, where I was advisor for communications. I also served as Director General for the Zambia National Broadcasting Corporation prior to joining the IMF. And some of the experiences I will share with you, I really borrowed from an International Monetary Fund. That is where remote working was part of work. In fact, we were encouraged to do remote working as one way of saving office space, because there wasn't sufficient office space for everybody. So we had to encourage a number of our staff to work from home. We didn't have to pay for the home environment as office rent. So it worked quite well for us. But it could be quite challenging, and we shall discuss today some of the possible challenges in one of you face. But before I share anything, I would like to hear from a couple of you, some of you who want to share your own personal experiences, especially in the past 2 months now, when the whole world been facing the COVID-19, and a number of companies in different countries, South Africa in particular, been on full lockdown, meaning that you have had to work from home. Zambia, where I'm speaking from, been on voluntary lockdown. So my company, I founded 3 years ago, called Bridges Limited. We've got 15 members of staff. They are all consultants. They are working from home, and I simply sit on this chair to coordinate those meetings and the number of projects that we are doing. So let me listen to a couple of you, 2 or 3 people who just want to share their experiences working from home and supervising staff who you are not seeing physically. Anyone wants to take the first lead?
Thank you, Speaker. Since we have the participants across African continent, I would suggest and recommend anyone from South Africa to initiate the experience, to share the experience what they have from South Africa working from home.
Fantastic. South Africa.
I'm not from South Africa. It's Ralph speaking. I'm from Zimbabwe, although I'm currently working in Nigeria. I'm on lockdown in Lagos, although I am communicating with my team leaders on a daily basis, which is very challenging through bad communication more than anything else. The guys, I've got two very good men that I can issue instructions to, and they can carry out those instructions relatively easy. But as you would know, if the boss is not there, things don't always go exactly to plan. So there are challenges, definitely, and depending on the state of your lockdown, as to how serious those challenges can be. Like here in Nigeria, we've got the challenges of lack of fuel supply, lack of agriculture inputs, because there is no interstate traveling allowed, only for emergency services, medical, food, and petroleum. But the petroleum services are being very closely regulated. So, yeah, and fortunately, modern technology is enabling us to carry on. So that's why I was particularly interested in this webinar, to see if I could learn anything from it, and from you especially, because of your wide range of experience.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ralph. Of course, what is worsening the issue of challenges is uncertainty. If you know that the problem will be over in the next 1-2 weeks, you are able to manage it in a certain way. But where you're not even sure when it will end, it's a big, big challenge. We hear you very well. Another person, South Africa, are you there? Musa,
Yes.
I think, let's try again your sound. I'm not getting you okay. Musa, let's try again.
Yeah, hello, sir. So my name is Musa Ahmed. I'm a student at university. My domain is, my major is or speech therapy. I mean, in French, it means orthophonie. So I'm studying at university in Algeria, and I have 3 years experience in my domain. So that's all. And I was teaching English basic for kids. Is my innovation. That's all. Yeah.
Good, thank you. Let's get 2 more people. Who wants to have a go? Gloria, where are you?
Hello.
Doctor, yeah.
Yeah. Doctor is actually my phone name. My name is Dr. Dubo. Dr. Dubo. That's actually my phone ID because I am connecting through my mobile app on my phone. But my name is Dr. Dubo, and I work with Clinton Health Asset Initiative, CHI, in Nigeria. I'm currently working from home, as we all know. I am in the city of Port Harcourt right now, and it's actually been challenging. It's actually been challenging, especially here. You all know that we actually don't have enough light. We talk about light in Nigeria. It's not a hidden thing. So it's also one of the challenges we're having because of light. And my patient that I'm supposed to be looking at for, I currently work with in the HIV space for children and adolescent HIV. And I was supposed to be going to see what happened in the clinic or my priority site. But now I am limited. I cannot go. I'm only engaging the IPs remotely. And most times the IPs that are not living in the facility are also finding it difficult to go to the facility. So you see, the level of work is also not optimal at the moment. And our patients, most of them which are from the rural areas, are unable to find their ways back to the facility. Most of them were supposed to be checking their viral load, and we're supposed to be looking at early infant diagnosis. And all this has been a challenge. We've not been able to service like we were supposed to do because of the lockdown. So I think the lockdown, even as much as we are trying to limit the spread of the virus, it is also having a toll on us. In some areas, it's driving us back. And just like you said, those of us in the urban area having some problem with especially food, because most of the food used in the urban areas are coming from the rural areas. And now that there are no movement, and if you can, there's scarcity everywhere. So I think that's all. That's what I want to just
Thank you so much, Doc. Thank you. I appreciate it. One more last person. I prefer a lady this time. Do we have any woman who wants to come forward? A lady? Yeah.
This is Bongani from South Africa.
Yeah, sure, Bongani. You've been on lockdown, serious lockdown in South Africa. Let's get your experience there, Bongani.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. The experience in South Africa is very bad, man. But the government is trying all its best to assist us, all South Africans, from the rich to the poor, because it's supporting the businesses as well as those who need assistance as well. But from my side, I'm really affected because I do have a project whereby I teach learners mathematics. But since there is lockdown, they don't allow us to meet in numbers or in groups. So it affected us a lot, as well as the learners, because in terms of the syllabus, we are behind. We try to do some catch-ups via the internet, teaching the learners, but due to the poor of the South Africans, that most of them cannot afford that, so it's very difficult for us to teach the learners via the internet. But after all, our government is trying the best to assist us, all of us. So yeah, that's all I can say.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. So, there's a lady there. There's a lady who wants to come on. Sure.
Yes.
Eddie Dong.
Yes, my name is Eddie Young. I'm an accountant and I work in Nigeria. And well, because the nature of my work doesn't really involve interfacing with so many people every day, to some extent, I can cope with the effects of the lockdown. But in the company I work, because we sometimes provide services, we have to install water tanks and co. The lockdown implies that our field workers are unable to offer those services. And that also means that we can't get paid by clients, even if we already had projects prior to the pandemic outbreak. And at the same time, when people are affected because there's no means to move around, and there are ripple effects on the economy. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll still have time to chat before we conclude in the next 40 minutes. Let me just take you through what we have for you. My interest is in how do you provide leadership to your team members who you don't see. I'll tell you what, as a leader, perhaps you're a manager, the most important thing is people must see you, even if they don't physically see you. So your presence is important for them. Those that work for you want to feel their jobs are secure. As you know, body language matters a lot. Body language, what you say, it has been analyzed that what you say verbally, only 7% of what you say verbally is believed or has impact. So you may be on webinar and speaking to your staff. Most of them want to see your body language. That speaks more because it accounts for about 55% of what is believed. So your body language is absent during the webinar, during the lockdown, or during the times you are not remote working, they are not seeing you. They may see your eyes like the way you are seeing me now. But the day-to-day interaction over the corridor, because your speech is every day, is how you greet them when you meet them. You are not saying anything to them about how is work, or you're simply saying, good morning to you, have a great day. That means a lot to your member of staff. So because, especially in Africa, we are anticipating huge job losses, significant job losses as a result of the COVID. There's scaling down for most companies across the sub-Saharan Africa. And employees do not know who is essential and who is not essential, who may lose their job or not. So the daily connection, I'm using the word connection, the daily connection is more than just you checking on how they are doing with their work. The daily connection with them is also communicating how you value them. Are they valuable that day? Are they valuable that week? So the way you communicate to them is the first step that ignites that level of response from your members of staff. So I want to look at what are the first things that you ought to focus on. Let me see if I can get this running properly. First of all, as a boss, you are the boss. I'm taking you are the boss. First of all, determine what the deliverables should be. This is your assurance that I'll get the results. Remember this, that with COVID-19 or no COVID-19, life goes on. And there will definitely be life after this. Your businesses, many of them will still survive. If others don't survive, those people, the entrepreneurs who started them will start again. So they'll definitely start again. They'll start new businesses and new operations. In other words, there's still life after COVID. So we're encouraging people that do not be so much focused on how to manage the mundane, the day-to-day challenges of COVID, how to wash your hands, how to cover your mouth or mask your face or something. Also look ahead of what happens afterwards. So this is a great opportunity for everyone to be connected and see life after. So business goes on even if there is a lockdown. Companies must still produce even if there's a lockdown. We should still see food by the farmers even if there's a lockdown. So somebody must still be active, and therefore somebody must still be supervised to ensure that something is delivered. And you are the boss. The first important thing, and I want to ask you this question, you as the boss, do you know what must deliver, not only day to day, deliver week by, deliver month by month, and above all, do you know what the business must deliver at the end of the year and what it exists for? You are the one who possesses that knowledge and understanding about what must be delivered. So you must determine, you know, people who work for you must only work within the confines of what must be delivered. So you define, you set the boundaries and the benchmarks under which everybody must deliver. So everybody must deliver to what you are supposed to deliver. There are your support staff and they're delivering. And you must know what must be delivered. Because if you do not know what you must be delivered, you will not know how to measure it at the end of the day. So even if they are working at home and you are talking to them, you don't really know exactly what questions you're going to be asking them because you don't know what must be delivered. That's number one. Two, you must know and determine the causes of action. What action must be done to deliver? So there are set goals. There are goals through which everybody in the organization will deliver. Whether they are working from home or wherever they are working from, they wake up in the morning, they know I'm delivering to this bigger whole. This is the bigger objective. Even if I lose connectivity, even if I lose connectivity for 2 weeks because I'm off internet or something, I cannot talk to my boss, at least I know what must be delivered. At least, even if I have no supervision, I know what must be delivered, and I also know how to deliver it. So each one of the people who work for you know exactly the courses of action that must be undertaken. We heard Ralph. Ralph is in Nigeria. His staff are in Zimbabwe. And he says he has entrusted two people. What he was simply saying is that these two people have worked with me very closely. They know that this is what we must deliver. Even if I'm in touch with them or not, this is what must be delivered, and this is how it must be delivered. In other words, he has mentored them and coached them sufficiently to be able to deliver on the results. So they're simply saying, even if our boss is not here, we know this is what he's expecting. If he has to jet in now, he won't only be happy that we are delivering on what he's expecting, he will also be happy that we are delivering it according to the philosophy, according to the set process, action. No, the call, we are following the right pattern, because some people can still deliver, but corruptly, by bribing people. Have you delivered? Yes, I delivered. How did you deliver? I paid the police officer to deliver. No. Every company has its own philosophy how to deliver, the courses of action, allocation of those. So the third point, therefore, is establish task authorities. These are authority relationships that allow for people to work together. So you know who is who among your members and who is the leader. So that even as they are working from home, unfortunately with the COVID, we are not ready for it. No, we are not ready for it. It is not something like we used to do at the IMF, where you are deliberate that some people should work from home. We're expecting snow, and people may not travel to work in the next 1 week. So this is how we shall plan it. These are the authority relationships you'll establish. This one will be in charge of, and other ones are. So where you do not have preset authority relationships, it can be quite a challenge. I'm presuming that every organization has got authorities, a structure of authority. A structure of authority simply means this is the boss, and this one is answerable to this one, and these are the result areas for this individual, and the result areas for that individual. So there are tasks that are assigned to individuals that even as we are breaking up, this is what we shall do. We are doing a number of projects as my company right now, a number of projects. I have assigned individuals. This one will be responsible for this organization. These are the deliverables. This one will be responsible for that. And all we do is to check through, where are you now? What is happening to you now? Are you facing any challenges? What are the difficulties you are facing? But each one has got a result area, task relations, task areas, and authorities. Determine ways of motivating your staff, coordinating them, and energizing all those individuals, especially now that they are not with you. Personally, I work through motivation. I love to spend time with staff. Everywhere I've worked, especially when I was overseeing the Zambia National Broadcasting Corporation, I would spend 30 minutes every day, what they call management by wandering around or wandering about, just going through the corridors before the official time of work, greeting staff and talking to them. To me, that was the most crucial time of the day, because members of staff look forward to that greeting and that beautiful smile to them, to make them feel they are part and parcel of the organization and they are loved, their contribution is highly appreciated. How do you do that, therefore? Through remote working, because you're not with them every day. So you should establish a way of energizing them. And what I do for us, just to share from my experience from my business, I have one gentleman who is very energized all the time. He's always energized. Even before COVID, he's just energized, natural energized individual. He's 50 years, 51 now. And all staff respect him so much. He's our commercial consultant. And everybody at 6:50, before 7, about 6:50, now 18, he will send a message to everybody. How is everybody? I hear so-so has a flu. He's the one to announce about the member of staff who's got a cold, a flu, or someone at a funeral, someone going through some situation. And people feel appreciated. He makes everybody feel they're highly energized for the day. So that as we embark on the day-to-day tasks, each one has had a share and felt accepted in it. And finally on this one is establish accurate measuring. You need to measure. Measuring is why you want to meet your staff. If you are doing it every day, do it every day. For us, we do it every Monday because occasionally we meet every Monday anyway, even if there's no COVID. So Monday, everybody sets aside time. Everybody, we connect through Zoom and go through what each one is experiencing. We had deliverables to be achieved. Where are you? What have you delivered? Each one of you. And then we meet regularly, not as a team, but we'll have Zoom meetings, maybe with 2 or 3 in particular deliverable area. So we still have those moments to chat together. So remote working itself is really, you are working from your workstation. This thing is not only unique during this particular time of COVID-19. It has been there. Many institutions are encouraging staff to work from home, like I said at the beginning. Remote working as a response to COVID, I would say that it's not out of choice. We are not ready for it. None of you are ready for this one. So we have had to create some way of putting things together while we're doing this remote working. South Africa was really much tougher because it's mandatory, people have to work from home. Zambia is a little relaxed with voluntary lockdown. So we had a bit of time to prepare ourselves and assign ourselves certain tasks before we started working from home. So it requires adapting to a new way of doing things. So this is where you feel you are called a manager. I'm assuming many of you are called managers. And I have my own personal definition of a manager. That is, a manager is somebody who's given resources to optimize output. So a manager is somebody who is highly skilled in giving the right combination of these resources, financial, technology, people, human capital. A manager is able to manipulate these resources to maximize output. And the environment has now changed. It is now when it counts most to be a manager. A manager should be able to say, if circumstances have changed, there's need for flexibility, and how do we deliver and maximize output under the new work arrangement? And this is where it counts for what you are as a manager. You must now begin to develop a new way of team building or building a team. Not all your people are effective managers when they are not seeing others in person. There are others who work when it's in a team, in a group of people, their productivity levels are very high because there is that self-energization. I mean, among you, you're seeing somebody is working, even if you're not feeling like it, begin to work. But those people are not with you at that moment. They're working away from the main station. So this is how a manager creates new rules and new energization levels of building a team. What that means, you must know your team members and their levels of efficiency and effectiveness. They are not all the same. Not all members of your team are the same. There are others who can work and produce results with very minimal supervision. There are others who cannot produce much unless they are told what to do day from day. And others are moody. So there are different profiles among your team members. So it is you, the manager, who should know your team members well. There are others who require much more contact than others. Therefore, you must be able to make it without losing it. As a manager, you should be able to say, at the end of this COVID-19 or coronavirus epidemic, at the end of the day, we should even emerge stronger and better than what we were before. It's interesting that for us, it's been amazing that our company appears to be receiving even more tenders now during the COVID period than before. The demand for work is even heavier now than before. And the levels of response from my team is expected to be much deeper and higher than it has been before. And this is where you as a manager must continue to check on your members. Where are we and what is happening to us? How are we performing? Okay, so I'll skip some of the slides here so that we can have some time to discuss. So how do you prepare to work from home? One, you must always be available. Please be available. The most annoying thing is that you're not working as a team now because you are separated, working from home, but some people switch off their phones. I understand there are heavy distractions, which we shall discuss shortly. There are a lot of distractions working from home. Right now, I'm operating from our home office. We also have a home office, and my children are doing their homework, and they are actually out here. They keep, one of them is signaling to me that he's hungry, he wants food. And he knows I don't provide food, but he's coming to me because he wants attention. These distractions can be very real. So some people switch off their phones, others are not available. I had one of my managers who didn't receive a report for which she's supposed to do some work. I was expecting that feedback at lunch hour now, before this Zoom, this webinar, and that's when she phones me. Did you send? I said, what? The report on which I said, I sent it 2 days ago. But I assumed her silence because I told her I'll be sending it in 30 minutes. That was 2 days ago on Monday. And I'd said, I'll be sending it in 30 minutes. You'll receive it. And she's been waiting. Me, I assumed her silence, she got it. Now, this is one of the problems you face, that some of the people switch off their phones. Others don't answer quickly. You may have to phone them. You find the phone is off. How do you connect with them? So availability is important, especially if you're the boss. Always be sure you are available. If you are going to be off signal, please inform others that I will not be reachable in the next 1 or 2 hours. If you really want to reach me, please use this channel or this method. Otherwise, I won't be reachable, I'll be out. And also establish a schedule, a clear schedule. This is very important. Establish a schedule and you must be able to adhere to it. So we have a schedule that every morning, Monday morning, the whole morning, we are together through the Zoom. You establish that schedule and send notices, please, ahead of time. Send it on Friday if you're meeting on Monday, and if you're meeting again on Wednesday, send another notice and commit to meet those schedules. They'll respect you, they'll take them very seriously and every moment. Okay, and adjust and adapt. So wherever you can adjust and adapt, because things are not the same anymore. You will be able to have everybody flexible to adjust. If somebody cannot connect quickly, you can maybe be flexible a bit to change to the most suitable time. Ensure that the tools are available for all your staff. I'm assuming that everybody got the computers and mobile phones. Internet is very important. It's quite expensive in some countries, but they should have internet available. And also agree on the mode of communication. You should be able to set the ground rules. You know, you have limited time. Usually when some of us meet, when there's no COVID, we are meeting the normal way, we spend about 5 minutes joking, asking one another, how was your weekend? No, I attended the wedding and things. But when you are discussing through web now, you have to set ground rules on what is admissible or not. Because sometimes communication by email leaves out a part of you. It leaves out a part of you. And it is that part of you that helps a person understand what you're communicating, whether you are angry or you are actually encouraging and in a good mood. So usually the texts don't take that smile with you. At times we try to put an exclamation mark, meaning that even if I'm saying this, I'm saying it in this fashion, but people interpret it differently because they're not hearing the tone of your voice, they're not seeing your smile and your facial expression. So you must set expectations and code of conduct. So this is about emails and readiness for videos. Please, if you are going to be on a meeting like a Zoom, do not start planning when you're already talking. Make sure you prepare adequately for your team. Your team will take you seriously if they see and notice that you are serious about your own task of talking to them, that you are sufficiently ready for each one of them, that you had the questions to ask each one of your members. They will take the tasks very, very seriously. So some of the team management skills, again, daily salutations are important, setting the schedules, introducing, please, the heartbeat is, let every member introduce themselves again, even if you work together, just to get that heartbeat, are they okay, what's going around them, and clarify those expectations. Be very clear what is expected from that particular meeting. Set the agenda for the meeting, that at the end of this discussion, these are the deliverables, and members of staff want to get updates. They want to hear what are the developments. Any good news? Have we won a new tender? No, I was sharing to my team on Monday, and they were all excited when we met that, oh, we got 2 letters, one from the Central Bank, Bank of Zambia, giving us a contract, we won an award to do training for 3 months for all senior managers, and everybody was hooray, to just set the mood alight. Everybody was so excited, and we are doing another project for the National Health Insurance Authority, which is, again, that's a piece of good news. Has anybody got married? I shared with them, of course, my firstborn son got married on Saturday. It was a piece of good news. He works for us anyway. He works for us, he's our investment analyst here and an economist. So he's part of the team. So to announce any development of that nature, set the mood alight. It helps people know that we are actually alive. There's COVID out there, yes, but we are still one family, a team that's working together to deliver results. Okay, and tracking is important. Tracking activities, very, very critical. Let me conclude with three key critical items. Of course, challenges, if I go to the last 3 critical items, lack of connection, that's one of the challenges for remote working. Lack of connection, I said it earlier, is where people don't feel you. They don't really feel you. I don't know whether you are feeling me, but I'm putting a lot of energy in my communication to you, so that you can feel not only what I'm saying, but how I'm making you feel. Okay, I must make you feel a certain way by the way I'm communicating. So there must be connection, communication, connecting, connection, communication. Okay, and of course the lack of intra-support. People like working together, they energize themselves, and time management is important. Social isolation. There are, you know, some environments like where we are. Just giving an example, we got a number of offices here. But I work from the boardroom with one of my senior managers. He has refused to also go to his own office, and he operates from the boardroom with me. And we work and we chat. The reception has 3 people who work from the reception. They are refusing to go to their own offices because they feel they like working together. And another office has 4 people instead of 1. So they like working together. But now it's social isolation. They are working alone. So that is another challenge we're facing. So you have to do work self-management, which is sometimes people stress themselves, others overwork, others underwork. You cannot really know. This is one of the challenges. Again, technology can be very unreliable, can be very, very frustrating. Loss of momentum. Now, this is a very big point. Loss of momentum means that people have become rusty. Some of the people you are working with have become rusty right now. Loss of momentum means that you wake up every morning at 6, you go to the office, and you work until 7 or 4, whatever time you work, and the following day you are built, because when you are working as a team and you are building momentum to achieve results, and suddenly COVID comes in, to energize people again, it's like having this track that cools down, to warm it up again, it requires management skills. This is where motivation counts the most from you, to warm up the people, to feel like they must not lose that energy, that momentum. Finally, important leadership attributes as you allow people to work from home. 3 things I want to share quickly. Number 1, intellectual dimension. Your presence intellectually is critical. So you will spend time to read through documents that are sent to you. So if you are supervising a team, if you are being supervised, the intellectual dimension is never removed. It means that there is need for critical analysis and judgment, even if you are not seeing each other. Your communication, whether it's by email, must be very clear. It must have that piece of intellectual argument. So you are not just an emotional being. The intellectual dimension is important. Imagination, sharing vision, strategic perspective, giving the bigger picture, strategic thinking, and helping people see what will happen to the business even after COVID. This is where you must stimulate thinking. What we are doing as a team ourselves to provoke each member of the team to think of something new that the business will begin doing, it has not been doing before, but to begin doing as a result of COVID. So this is a period for you to stimulate your team to think outside the box, to be much more creative and innovative. Think of new products that can be offered to the market as a result of what they have observed, what have they learned from this experience, and what new thing they can deliver or new product that they can begin producing. 2 is about you now as a manager, what we call the managerial dimension. You are supposed to be resource managing. By the way, this working from home gives you an opportunity as a manager to put your business in order. Why am I saying that? It's because when you're running a business, the focus of entrepreneurs and people is hunting. The goal is just to bring in your business, bring in new things. We don't have much time to look at the administrative part of the business. The administrative part of the business counts as much as bringing in new business to your company. Managing the invoices, managing the clients, managing the books, their finances, ensuring that they are ready for auditing. This is the time you want to look at the staff issues. It's the time you want to focus on issues that you normally don't spend time on. It's time you want to prove that you are a manager who is also a good administrator. You want to engage more as a communicator, to design ways of empowering your staff, to develop them and how you can achieve results. And finally is the aspect of emotional intelligence. And I'm putting the aspect of emotional intelligence here because this is when it counts the most. When people are not with you physically, they must judge by the tone of your voice, how you cut off the phone, how you phone them and how you say hello, how you connect with them, how much you are aware about your own self, your emotional feelings and the feelings of those who are under you. You are not seeing them, but you are still communicating to them via email and this. So how you put the full stop, how you do. So it's about awareness, self-awareness and awareness of others. So this is where emotional resilience is. It can be quite annoying when some of your members of staff fail to deliver on agreed tasks or deliverables. And you are expecting something like I was expecting something by 12, she's not delivered it, and I'm asking, that's when she's phoning, did you send the report? The immediate thing in you is I know she's gone shopping. You know, that's the first thing. What was she doing? I know she's gone shopping. So you may end up making a conclusion on the wrong premise. You must control yourself at this time. It's self-management, emotional management, being aware of yourself and aware of others. So be sensitive about others. Be sensitive about how they are feeling. You know, they are afraid, by the way. They are scared. Right now, many of them want to ensure that even if they are working from home, they are contributing as much as before to the business. So no one wants to be seen as lazy. No one wants to be perceived as irrelevant to the business. No one wants to be perceived as non-contributory. They are not adding any value. Everybody is scared. So your emotional outplay matters the most. How you smile, how you check on each one of them, make them feel they are really part of the business. You want to exert your influence because your calmness in managing people, helps productivity the other end. They'll be really happy to deliver for the boss that they love. It's about consistency, it's about the moral power, it's about ethics, it's about belief and faith in your team. If you do not believe in your team, then your business will not succeed. So let's take the next few minutes here just to engage together. I'll conclude here for the presentation. Let's see if we can engage. Okay.
Yes.
Am I there? Hello?
Oh, yes, speaker. Yeah, speaker. Thank you so much for your beautiful presentation so far. So let me read out the question that has been raised using the chat. The first question is, there is a person from India. He mentioned that when we're working from home, we may lose our concentration on time, and due to which I think there may be little impact on workout. So how do we manage the time? That's the first question.
Managing the time, right?
Yeah, managing the time when you're working from home, when you're being diverted when you're diverted with the concentration. So the concern is, how do we manage the time?
Yeah, so I hope I get to the question properly. You're working from home, how you manage the time. Number one, like I said, you must know what you are supposed to be delivering. It also depends on how busy your office is. If your office is really a busy one with a lot of assignments to do, you will always find a window to be busy and to find the time for it. Now, when you're working from home, the first step is to communicate to your members of the family, because they're happy because they're seeing you most of the time, so they want to really have you. But you must tell them that I'm actually working. So you agree schedules together with them. My kids, 2 of them are still with me. They are still at school. And what I do with them is they have homework too. So when we schedule time to do something, that's when they also schedule to do their homework.
Thank you, Speaker. The second.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah. So I thought you're done with the response. Would you like to add some more contributions, Speaker, to the question?
Do we have another question of the question?
Yeah,
Yes,
the other question is, working from home puts a lot of pressure on leaders because subordinates are sometimes restricted in terms of what can be done. How do we encourage subordinates to keep being productive in performance achievement?
Okay, I hope I got it clear. There's a part I'm not getting clear, but let me just assume I got it the way you're asking it. Number one, like we shared earlier, is every subordinate must have a deliverable, each one of them. Never allow your members of staff to be at home with you not knowing what they are doing, especially for the lower scale members of staff. Those at the managerial level, usually they know what they must deliver because they have got KPI, very clearly defined KPIs. So those KPIs are measured at the end of the year. Though everyone has them, the lower level manager, the lower level, don't really stick to KPIs, they say. For them, it's everyday output. They count output. For them, they count time they were sitting on the computer working. And this is the time. Maybe you are not doing it when you are working together with them. This is an opportunity now for you to be able to say, this is what you must deliver tomorrow. And it's very challenging for you as a manager now because you must assign them on a daily basis. So you know what each one must deliver, not per week per se, but per day. That's the lower group of your management staff. And as a result, because they know the boss is expecting this by 17 hours today, which you are not doing before COVID, now you are doing it, they are able to find the time. If they had some challenging things or to do some personal errands, to go shopping, they will not be able to do it because you are now marking them. You are closely following them on a deliverable based and broken down on daily achievements. So the onus and the challenge is not so much on the employee. The challenge now is on you, the boss, to know exactly what your people must deliver at the end of the day. That is where the challenge is, and you must be able to do that.
Yeah, thank you for answering that question. And regarding to the next question, and we have coming up with a lot of question, and there is a question from Ralph. As a manager, it is like we are not try and micromanage. Much better to give a personal responsibility and amount of freedom. They will be performing much better. So how to give like to avoid a micromanagement and to give up a freedom for them? That's a question from them.
Oh, now I really lost you completely. Anyway, the word I heard one word is, I think it's micromanaging and also having time for them.
Okay.
My first response is, yeah, let me say this, that first thing is, people are going through a lot of emotional stress at the moment, a lot of emotional stress. It is not only the business leaders.
Yeah, you can continue. So,
okay.
Yeah, you can.
It is not only the business leader who is worried about the survival of their business. Employees are equally worried about, will I go back to the office again? Because there's a high level of uncertainty as you go through this process. So one of the first things you do is, as you are micromanaging, do not exert unnecessary pressure on people who are already worried. Because some of them may misinterpret your micromanagement as checking them out. You are exiting them in a strategic way. You are trying to find fault and find them inefficient so that you can exit them from the corporation. So if you are doing something that you are not doing before, especially micromanaging, one, they will feel depressed. They will feel like you want them out. And two, some of them may not even know exactly why you're interfering in what they're supposed to do. Do you doubt them? Do you think they can deliver? So when you are doing that, please give them sufficient time, relax them. This time, relax your staff while you are intensely seeking for results from them.
Yes, I just want to say a big thank you for the presentation. In fact, it's just like an eye-opener, like a scale dropping from my eyes. You've been able to open my eyes to many things managerially, and I just want to appreciate. I mean, it was a good section. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you. Okay, is anyone having any questions so that we can wind up the session soon?
No, but finally, is it possible to have this presentation, the slides, all those slides
Yes.
that you have today?
Yes, definitely we're going to share it with you because this is going to be in a YouTube, and also we'll be soon posting all this entire webinar session on our YouTube page, Texila's YouTube page. So we will be sharing all the details of YouTube links and everything, because just sharing the presentation will not help you, because the person will not understand it, what it exactly conveyed, because he has given the pointers in the presentation and he has explained in a detailed way. So we will be sharing a YouTube page soon to you.
Okay, great.
After uploading it in YouTube.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, hello. Yes, proceed.
I said just to join in appreciating this presentation. I missed most of it, but the few I listened to, I'm most delighted And I look forward to the slides so that I can catch up. And that also from YouTube. Thank you very much. Very good one.
Okay. No, I end up from South Africa. I also want to appreciate this kind of information. I think we are also getting to be like acclimatized with the platform as well, because also this platform is new to us. So it's another way of understanding how to handle business and also how to handle meetings with our staffs using this kind of platform. I want to also ask from Mr. That is it the right time for one to diversify in terms of what kind of business that we've been doing, looking at the emergence of this 4IR, and also because we said we are in the field of teaching and learning. So now we see that there's more demand for using online platform for teaching. So I'm just checking if is this the right time to start diversifying to new businesses or new model of doing business.
Yes, to answer for your questions, yes, regarding to the diversity of doing online teachings and everything, yes, it is the right time. So you can, if you want to be a business person and if you want to start it, yes, you can always start it. And make sure that you do a portal or whatever the, like what if you are doing it in an online portal or something, it should be different, should be, for example, if you are in a country and where you are doing it in a diversity in other national, based upon the country requirement, you have to do it. So make sure that you do a proper research and then you start a business on that, because each country has a different language and different, what is it about, like culture and everything. So it should be easy accessible, and also it should be like an internet facility, because which country you're targeting to. For example, if you're targeting to South Africa for an online portal where the internet charge is very high, so other countries will be little cheaper and everything, and based upon the things, the portal which you develop or the online teaching facilities where you are delivering should be perfect, and also the faculty you choose it for the delivery also should be a diversible person.
Oh yes. Well, thank you.
Because what happens is that like African communication might be not differ with the US people, and for South Asian people it will be differ.
No, awesome. Thank
So
you.
based upon that, you just do it.
Okay.
Yeah, then it's very great. Like I thank each and every participant who spent this valuable time with us. And thank you so much, Mr. Chimbaba Kanyama. It's a valuable presentation you give and which has enlightened us on regarding an effective working from home. And thank you so much from once again from Texila American University for this participation and time spent. Thank you guys. Thank you. And have a good day.